Welcome, everyone. My name is Jose Galvan. I'm the president of the Cal State LA Emeriti Association. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the signature event that Cal State LA's Emeriti Association sponsors each year. This is the recognition of the recipients of the Emeriti Association's fellowships and scholarships. In previous years, this event has been the featured part of our annual fall luncheon. We're in a somewhat different format this year because of the COVID pandemic, but the change in format does not diminish the importance and significance of this event for all of us. Last fall, the executive committee of the Emeriti Association began a conversation about ways in which we might be able to involve more of our members in our activities. And we even scheduled a retreat for last April to focus on identifying what we might do differently to accomplish this goal. Needless to say, COVID forced us to cancel this retreat, but we remain focused on finding ways of expanding the activities of the Emeriti Association to involve more of our members. As often happens, the black cloud of the pandemic soon gave way to a silver lining in the form of the Zoom platform, which has given us a means not only of continuing our active agenda in support of the Cal State LA campus, but also to expand our activities in ways that have surprised us and that have energized us as we have made greater use of the online tools the campus provides us. So while we would have enjoyed the opportunity of an on-campus luncheon to meet you, the fellow recipients, and your families, we are delighted to be able to host this event and to open it up to even more of our members. In fact, I take great pleasure in welcoming all of the association members who have logged on to this webinar. I'm pleased to say that in addition to the executive committee's monthly meetings, which we hold via Zoom, this event is actually the third online program we have mounted this fall. The first two being informational webinars on issues related to the recent election. We are delighted that so many of you have joined us today. And in spite of COVID, our efforts continue to find ways of providing more of the kinds of programs and activities that are of interest to you. And we are committed to making use of the tools that will allow more of you, wherever you may be, to participate. Now, going back to the purpose of this presentation, which is to recognize and honor the recipients of our fellowships, I would like to share a short video that underscores the importance of our Emeriti Fellowship Scholarship Program, whose primary purpose is to support deserving Cal State LA students in their pursuit of their educational goals. But in addition, this video highlights why this needs to be a virtual event this year.
What is a pandemic? And how do we know when we're in the midst of one?
Well, a pandemic is when you have an infectious disease.
Row after row, comatose patients in isolation rooms. Every surface is dangerous, and so is the
people
air.
are critical and will die
The
without.
Health Organization warns that around the globe, the virus seems to be gaining a new foothold.
So now,
because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
It's so new to us, so we're just doing what we can, and we don't know what's going to happen.
This time will end. This odd and painful chapter in the history of our nation will not last forever. And when it is over, we will look back at all we've been through. Our story of life during the pandemic will be more than a sad tally of loss and dreams denied. When we tell our story of COVID-19, we will remember the ways we tried to make things better for our students and our community, with laptops and hotspots and emergency grants for students who needed them. With food giveaways that helped feed thousands in the community. With our COVID-19 testing site right on campus. And compelling new research on the hard-hit communities of Southeast Los Angeles County that so many of our students call home. Our COVID-19 story will feature our students who remained resilient and determined in the face of unfathomable circumstances. We continued educating and readying Golden Eagles for a world that needs them like never before. We continued preparing for the day when we would be together again. Our COVID-19 story will tell of our deeply committed faculty who spent the summer training for the fall, and how they're ready to offer high-quality, engaging instruction in a virtual space. When we tell the story, we will remember our staff who turn to technology to assist students, telemedicine and teletherapy, virtual advising, online orientations, and cloud-based call centers for financial aid, records, and admissions. This long and tumultuous chapter will end, and we will have a story to tell. Our story will be more than a narrative of loss. We will tell of the lessons we learned, the experiences we gained, and we will show the world that we are Golden Eagles, and we still soar.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alfredo Gonzalez, the chair of the Fellowship Committee of the Emeriti Association, and I would also like to welcome you to one of the most significant events that the Emeriti Association holds every year. I think we all recognize how much support students need under any circumstances, but the video that we just saw, I think, underscores now more than ever the kind of support that they need. And I'm pleased and happy that all of you who attended this event have in some way, some form contributed to this activity. They need all the support we can get, and the Emeriti Association is instrumental in doing what we can to provide some of that support. The scholarship program of the Emeriti Association exists because of the generous contributions of many of you who are out there in the audience. It's made up of contributions that come from members of the association, of which there are close to 300 current members. It comes from friends of the association, people who have heard of the association, maybe have attended a luncheon, know somebody who got a fellowship or scholarship and wanted to contribute. And so they may not be members of the association, but we get contributions from them. And then every once in a while, there's somebody who has a gift and they're looking for a worthy cause. They know somebody who's in the association, or they somehow have heard of us, or somebody in the development office maybe has referred them to us, and they contribute to the fund. And so it's contributions from individuals, groups, and the states that help compromise what is the Emeriti Fellowship and Scholarship Program of the Emeriti Association. The gifts that you provide have made the California State University Los Angeles Chapter Association one of the association that gives more scholarships and fellowships than any other Emeriti association in the CSU. And that's something that I think we all should be very, very proud of. There are two categories of awards. And one of those is what we call the Emeriti Fund Fellowships. These are supported from funds from the Emeriti Fund Endowment. There's an endowment that was created in the Emeriti Association, and funds that are not earmarked for specific fellowships go into this endowment. Historically, it's only graduate students who have been eligible for awards from the fellowship fund, and while they're restricted to only graduate students currently, there are some discussions about expanding it so that would include undergraduates as well. But again, it's only discussion. But any student in any graduate program, master's or doctorate, is eligible for awards from the Emeriti Fellowship Fund. And we refer to these as Emeriti Fund Fellowships. Within the Emeriti Fund, there's also 3 fellowships that are named for individuals who've made significant contributions either to the Emeriti Association or to the university. And I want to make clear that the 3 named fellowships are to honor the 3 individuals who bear the names of the fellowships, but they are no more prestigious or important or selective than all of the other fellowships, all of which are extremely selective. But again, to honor 3 individuals who made significant contributions either to the university or to the association, they were honored by having these fellowships named after them. The first is the Dr. Sidney Albert Fellowship. He was the founding force behind the Emeriti Association in Cal State Los Angeles. And because of his leadership, both on this campus and system-wide, he led to the creation of most other Emeriti associations throughout the CSU. A second named fellowship is for Carol Smallenberg. She was a professor in education, then the School of Education, now the Charter College of Education. She was a major force behind creating the fellowship program and was a major contributor to the program early on, and her family continues to contribute to this day. And we're very, very appreciative for their support and of course with her leadership in creating this program. The third named fellowship is the Dr. James M. Rosser Fellowship. Some of you remember him. Most of you in the Emeriti Association, of course, do. Some students may have heard of him. He was the president of Cal State Los Angeles from 1979 until 2013. Students who are selected to receive one of these 3 named fellowships study in the area in which fellowships are named or in an area closely related to the person for whom they're named. So again, they carry the name to honor the person who they're named for, but they have the same criteria that all of the other fellowships do for ultimate selection other than the specific field in which they are come. The second source of funds for fellowships are the endowed fellowships and scholarships. And these are very, very important for a number of reasons. These are created by individuals or groups in memory of a loved one, to honor someone, or to bear the name or the names of the donors. It's people who feel that Cal State LA has contributed something to them or to people they believe in or people that they loved in. And in order to recognize them in some meaningful way, they contribute a sum of money that goes into an endowment, and it's a restricted endowment for that specific scholarship or fellowship. And again, as most of you know, an endowment is something that, based on its interests, should continue on in perpetuity, or at least we hope something close to perpetuity. The donors, donors to these scholarships or fellowships can be, they can dictate the criteria that they would like for their award, as long as it falls within the parameters of the fellowship program. They can also designate the major, and in some cases, very specific interests that they would like to have expressed in the criteria that they use to select the recipients of these. So these are the 2 major categories of fellowships that we award. And again, I want to emphasize that they have essentially the same criteria. They have somewhat different sources of funds. And in the case of the endowed fellowships and scholarships, the donors can specify more specific criteria or fields of study that they would like these fellowships to be in. Okay, so you can find a complete list of all the Emeriti Associated scholarships and fellowships and the selection criteria on the Emeriti Association webpage at www.calstatela.edu/Emeriti under Emeriti Fellowships. These are the categories of awards that are being made this afternoon, and all of them, and I want to underscore all of them, are being awarded to a group of truly outstanding students who are amazing today, and I know will be amazing and make the Emeriti Association of Cal State Los Angeles proud in the future as they progress in their professions and in their careers. I would like to now introduce the 2020-21 Emeriti Fund Fellowships. That's that first category. And the first recipient is Amy Robb. She is a graduate. She is receiving the Graduate Fellowship for Academic Excellence in English. And I'd like to now introduce Amy.
Thank you for that introduction. I just want to say what an honor it is to be here, what an honor it is to have my studies and my scholarship recognized. I'm not one to enjoy being in the spotlight too much, and I'm not one to achieve the need to be in the spotlight. So I will say that I am selfishly enjoying it when I am in the spotlight and when my work is validated. And I have definitely enjoyed my time here at Cal State LA, and I have learned and been humbled and grown just from my experience of listening to the other students, the faculty, the staff, and just kind of feeling the community overall. So it's very exciting to share this in my home during this COVID time, and down the hall, my husband and kids are watching from another screen. But I'm, excited and proud and honored to share my studies and to continue this and to feel validated in this way. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. Christian Benitez, who could not join us today, is receiving or received the Graduate Fellowship for Academic Excellence in Biology. And again, he's not able to join us today, but he sends his regrets. He had to be out of town to take care of some family business and was not going to be able to participate even remotely. Joanna Riley is recipient of the Graduate Fellowship for Academic Excellence in Communication Disorders. And I'd like to now introduce Joanna.
Hi, thank you for that introduction. This is just beyond my wildest dreams. I feel so honored to be getting this scholarship. I faced a lot of difficulties in the past with my academic, I guess you can say, the route that I chose in academics. I started with something, then I ended here, then I ended over here. And it's kind of been very difficult to get it straight, just because I was the first one in my family to go to school, and we didn't really have that guidance. So to be coming from a school, I went to UCLA for my undergrad, to be coming from a school where professors were telling me, well, you're never going to get into a master's program. You're not competitive enough to get into a PhD program. You won't succeed. To be coming to a school where I have pretty much like two mentors, Dr. Simon Cerejido and Dr. Ellis, who wrote my letters of recommendation and who have encouraged me to apply and get these scholarships. It's just such a disparity of what an individual can go through in academia. So I feel very honored to be here getting this award, and I want to thank them for writing those letters of recommendation and always encouraging me. And ultimately, I do want to get my PhD. I want to get some years under my belt before I apply to PhD programs, working with bilingual communities and the issues that they have to face. But I also want to thank my husband for being so supportive these last 4 years, transitioning into this master's program. And thankful to my parents for all the prepackaged vegan meals that they provided for me, especially. They've been so helpful during finals weeks and midterms. And so, muchas gracias, los adoro, y sí se puede y la lucha sigue. Gracias. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The recipient of the Graduate Fellowship for Academic Excellence in Audiology is Melissa Gonzalez. Melissa is earning her doctorate in audiology from Cal State Los Angeles.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction. I would like to first start by thanking the Emeriti Association for choosing me to receive this fellowship. I'm exceedingly grateful and very humbled to have been chosen for this scholarship. This scholarship has lightened the financial load that comes with graduate school and has allowed me to focus more on my studies. I would further like to thank the unwavering support and dedication of the faculty in the audiology department. I would like to extend a very heartfelt thank you to Dr. Peterson, Dr. Ivory, Dr. Suresh, Dr. Hisagi, and Margaret Winter for their tireless pursuit of academic excellence for myself and my colleagues. Their steadfast diligence will have a lasting influence on my future patients. A special thank you to my family for supporting me in the pursuit of my dreams. I'm currently in my third year of the Doctor of Audiology program and part of the inaugural cohort at Cal State LA, and I'll be graduating in September of 2022. Upon graduation, I hope to specialize in pediatrics and eventually open my own pediatric clinic in the Inland Empire and give back to my community by teaching at a nearby university. I was born and raised in the Inland Empire, where 4 million people currently reside, and there's a lack of pediatric audiology services in this area. During my time volunteering at Casa Colina, I learned that some families are driving from Victorville to Pomona, which is a 57-mile drive one way. Oftentimes, these families have to wait 4 to 6 months for an appointment, which is critical time for auditory development in a child's early years. By opening a clinic, I hope to relieve the burden of parents the burden parents face by providing services closer to home. The Emeriti Association is making a difference by investing in my future goals that will in turn make a great impact in my community. A heartfelt thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I've read all of the applications, know all the stories, and I got to tell you, every single one of them is being so modest about what they share with you. Each and every one is just an amazing student that has an incredible story. So again, thank you. Our next recipient is Neil Kohansky. He's receiving a graduate fellowship for academic excellence in anthropology. Neil?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Emeriti Association and Dr. Gonzalez for providing me with this honor. When I began my higher educational journey, I was quite a ways from earning or even deserving any honor or scholarship. When my journey started, the country was still under the Clinton administration. Y2K wasn't even a thing. The iPhone didn't exist, and I didn't even have the term cell phone in my vocabulary. Now, I'm dating myself, and that's the point. The path to our success is almost never a straight line between point A and point B. I had points C through Z mixed in there. There are twists and turns and bumps, hills and valleys along the way. While on my path, I had experiences that would shape me as a person. In fact, it was this long, winding path that helped lead me to anthropology and ultimately archaeology. I conducted a 10-year photographic study of human body modification. During one afternoon hike to a mine deep in the San Gabriel Mountains, where I was to shoot a body modification event, I met an anthropology student from St. Andrews University in Scotland. Shortly after that chance meeting, I began making plans to go back to school to pursue a degree in anthropology. I had no money and was still in debt from my earlier college failings, but I made every effort to make this endeavor a successful one. I'd like to extend my sincerest thanks and appreciation to the following. Dr. James Serra, who over many one-on-one conversations while attending Pasadena City College, suggested I apply to Cal State LA. The Office of Students with Disabilities. Without them, I would not be where I am today. The countless members of the faculty, staff, and the students at Cal State LA who have played a significant role in my development. Professor Melanie Saldana, who has gone above and beyond in her efforts to encourage and support me in archaeology and in life. And a very special thank you to my mentor and the person who has provided me with opportunities I never dreamed of. This person invests in his students the power to realize their scholastic goals by taking each and every one of them under his wing to nurture their own special interests. Without his encouragement and guidance, I would not be the student and professional I am today. Thank you, Dr. James Brady. Lastly, I'd like to thank the one person who took on the lion's share of everyday expenses while on my journey in this city where rents have skyrocketed over the last decade. Though it has not always been easy, without her tireless work ethic and her selflessness, I would not have been able to focus and excel in my academics the way I have. To you, Lucy Renew, I extend my deepest gratitude. Now, my scholastic journey is not fully complete, but with this Emeriti Fellowship, I am that much closer to realizing my goals. Thank you. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. Melanie Saldonsky, if you're on this call, I thank you for your photographic inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Really appreciate you sharing your story. There's something that goes on in that anthropology department, because our next recipient is Wendy Lako, a second-time recipient of an Emeriti Fellowship, and she's awarded the Graduate Fellowship for Academic Excellence in Anthropology. Wendy?
Hello. Mine is more in the form of a story. So here I go. Association for this very special award because it came at a moment felt that my life and my goals had been snatched away from me. Until COVID hit, I was on top of the world. I had been accepted to a doctoral program at Florida Atlantic University and given a dean's fellowship. I was studying to take my comprehensive across the country. When the pandemic hit, I was scrambling just to survive. I had no study, so my exams had to be post-secondary. Schools would open as usual, putting my children's health at risk. I reluctantly withdrew from the doctoral program. Because of my own personal history, these setbacks were devastating. My parents are Filipino immigrants, so I grew up, we moved a lot, and I had little sense of security. As a child, many of my clothes were handed down or purchased from the Goodwill. After high school, I had 2 children. After being left by their father, I found myself on government assistance. My big break came when I was transferred to a program that allowed me to go to school full-time. I enrolled at Los Angeles City College intending to get my associate degree in marketing, but I fell in love with anthropology. My education, however, was still driven by the need for government assistance to provide for my children. So I applied to Cal State LA. I began working with Dr. James Brady in my second quarter at Cal State LA. After class one day, I mentioned to him that I had always dreamt of doing archaeological research in the Philippines. By some strange coincidence, he had recently received a flyer for a National Science Foundation research experience for undergraduates grant, soliciting applications to participate on an archaeological research project in Ifugao, where I had always wanted to work. I worked furiously with Dr. Brady to develop a personal statement to beat the application deadline that was only 4 days away. Winning that award completely transformed my life. The research experience in the Philippines opened the door to academia. Under Dr. Brady's guidance, I have been offered additional opportunities that have taken me to parts of the globe that I had never imagined, such as Mexico and Belize. I received scholarship scholarships to pursue that research and presented papers on my discoveries at professional conferences. I have also published 2 articles in academic journals. I won a Sally Casanova pre-doctoral fellowship that allowed me to travel the country visiting doctoral programs. Last spring, I was named the Outstanding Social Science Graduate Student of the College of Natural and Social Sciences. All of this was pretty heady stuff for the daughter of 2 Filipino immigrants, and I was excited about the future. But for minorities like myself, the imposter complex always lurks just below the surface. The rapidity in which it all had been taken away from me said clearly that I had been unmasked. Society had pushed me back into a hole that I had worked so hard to dig out of. And at the moment that I was feeling the lowest, I found out that I had won the Emeriti Fellowship, telling me that the people I respect believed in me. And it reminded me that I am completing my master's degree and that I am a winner and that can't be taken away from me. So again, I want to say thank you for sending that message at a critical time.
Thank you, Wendy, for telling your story. And we indeed believe in you. We indeed believe in you, and we believe that you can reach whatever goals you set forth. Um, and we just are so proud of you. So now we're going to the 3 named fellowships. Again, these are from the Emeriti Fund. They've been identified to honor 3 specific individuals. Receiving this year's Carol Smallenberg Graduate Fellowship is Erin Kimball, who is pursuing her master's degree in counseling. Erin?
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Kimball, and I'm a second-year graduate student pursuing a Master of Science degree in counseling with the option of school psychology. I'm an aspiring school psychologist, and my overall career goal is to become a nationally certified school psychologist, so I have the capability of practicing across the United States. I am passionate about supporting students of marginalized groups, specifically by increasing representation. As a Black woman, I think it is very important for other Black children to see themselves reflected in individuals that hold leadership roles in schools. Additionally, I want to provide culturally sensitive support to the diverse students of Los Angeles so they too can learn and thrive academically, socially, emotionally, and psychologically. I'd like to say thank you again. I'm truly grateful to have received this fellowship. It's an honor. While my interest in school psychology continues to grow, I was not excited to continue my graduate experience online. However, receiving this fellowship encouraged me as I prepared for the unusual 2020-2021 school year. I felt the support of the Emeriti Association, and that helped confirm my graduate school journey. Not only are you supporting me as a graduate student, but you're supporting the future students that I will work with. You are investing in my education so that I can serve students and ensure their educational goals and aspirations are met. I'd also like to give a special thank you to my family for always supporting me and reminding me that the world is truly my oyster. Thank you.
Erin, amazing. And you're going to do some great stuff, and we all are going to be proud of you, and you're going to make the campus proud. Recipient of the James M. Rosser Graduate Fellowship is Dihiti Dola, working on her degree in public health, which was one of the areas of our president. So Dihiti.
Everyone, thank you for the introduction. My name is Dihiti Dola. I'm an international student here at KCPLA from Bangladesh. I'm currently in the second year of the Master of Public Health program. At first, I would like to express my heartiest gratitude to everyone associated with Emeriti Association Fellowship Program for choosing me as one of their fellowship recipients. I'm really honored to have been selected as the recipient of the James M. Rosser Graduate Fellowship. This fellowship definitely helps me to focus more on my personal and professional goals by lowering the financial burden. Being born and raised up in a middle-class family in a developing country, I often experienced financial hindrances in several stages of my life. Despite having so Despite having financial constraints and living in a society where women's education is yet not welcoming everywhere, my parents have always been so supportive to me so that I can thrive intellectually no matter how tough the situation is. I owe my success to my parents, and they sold our family's only car to support me for pursuing my dream here in the US. Also, all of my professors here at Cal State LA and my academic advisor, Dr. Melanie Sabado, for mentoring me throughout my whole journey here. I would like to thank them from the core of my heart. Last but not the least, I owe my success to my husband, who is constantly supporting me from the very beginning of my journey here by standing always by my side and giving me mental support. I feel motivated because of him. Thank you for believing in me. And I have always wanted to make positive impact on the large population throughout my work. Before coming here, I worked in an international health research organization with urban slum population and refugee population in Bangladesh. That experience made me understand that when it comes to preventative measures, the public health practitioners need sophisticated and targeted approaches. That work experience encouraged me to pursue higher training in the public health. I aim to develop affordable and sustainable ways to address health issues in developed and developing cities around the world. In future, with my rigorous research work, I want to bring positive change in the society, especially for the vulnerable population in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DTT. Thank you. Um, the next recipient is Marianne Claire Pace. She's earning her master's degree in English. She is the recipient of the Sydney Albert Graduate Fellowship. Dr. Albert, who I mentioned earlier, was the founding force behind not only our Emeriti Association, but many, practically all of them across the CSU, was a professor in philosophy, but he had great interest in English. In fact, published a significant work in English. So it always seems appropriate that whether they be philosophy or English, they are worthy of receiving the Sydney Albert Graduate Fellowship. Mary?
Thank you all so much, and I cannot just express the heartfelt gratitude I have for being here and giving the opportunity to speak to you all today. I want to first and foremost salute to all college students going through online learning and still continuing to do their work during these times. And also very specifically, I want to salute first generation college students, as I am one. And with that, I know the challenges of navigating school systems a lot of times alone, dealing with imposter syndrome, and also keeping my personal retention and interest in school that has been an ongoing battle since I walked into the doors of first Los Angeles City College way back in 2011 and at Cal State LA at 2016. Amazing school, Cal State LA, just a lot of challenges personally that makes me appreciate being in school more. I am currently a third-year graduate student of English, and while I originally wanted to be an engineer or an architect and create something, to my dismay, calculation or math isn't my strongest suit. Yet when I sat down and wrote, I love the transformation and manifestation of my ideas and voice onto paper. I felt that my voice was being heard. And with that, though, came the reality that I don't know what to do with a career. I don't know what to do with a degree as an English major. I don't know what career I'd have or where I'd end up. And so my professors have unwaveringly given me advice and pushed me to, quoting the Cal State LA motto of pushing my boundaries, push my boundaries and seek opportunities where I can translate my passion, not just with a career, but also in giving back to my community, which is important to me because I am a, I am a child, excuse me, I am a child of immigrant parents that is also raised by my community. My professors connected me with volunteer and professional development opportunities, tutoring after school or on the weekends, presenting at different conferences all over California. And also this connected me with volunteer and professional development opportunities. And with time, I cultivated a new way of looking at a future career as an English degree holder and as potential educator, that I would be an architect in cultivating the minds of the next generation of critical thinkers and members of our society. With COVID-19 unexpectedly throwing all of our lives into a more vulnerable position, the Emeriti Fellowship acts as a bridge, bringing me closer toward my goal of becoming an educator. During the summertime, I lost my jobs, and I didn't know how I would be able to pay for my tuition and come back to school. But this fellowship has allowed me to sit here and continue not just my education, but also this wonderful opportunity that the English department is giving graduate students, which is a teaching associate position in which I am able to teach a class of 16 students, freshman composition in college, and cultivate those minds as future Cal State, as continuing Cal State LA students and also members of our society. Thank you, members, friends of the Emeriti Association, and all the individuals who contributed to the program. Without you all, I don't know that I would be here sitting in front of you, thanking you all for investing in me. And to all my professors, sorry, one last thing. Dr. Harris, thank you for, Dr. Christopher Harris, thank you for unquestioningly writing my letter of recommendation for the scholarship program. My advisor, Dr. Andrew Knighton, for modeling this teaching pedagogy that's modeled in compassion and teaching with understanding, empathy, but also with a certain toughness that is also modeling my own teaching style. And to Dr. Donald Dykoff, who is the director of a first-year writing graduate teaching associate program, being passionate about what she does and giving all the first year, second year English TAs the resources to teach online. I cannot thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Mary, we thank you for what you've done, what you've accomplished, what we know you're going to accomplish. I know you're inspired by people, but you're also an inspiration. You are amazing. So those are the recipients of the Emeriti Fund Fellowships, 3 of which were named to honor the 3 people that I referred to. The next group of fellowships and scholarships are those that individuals have stepped forth to create in the name of somebody that they want to honor, or in whose memory they wanted to create this award. And as you can see, just by seeing the students that get these awards, it's enough to inspire you to say, yes, I want to be a part of that and I want to contribute to that. And these people who create these endowed fellowships are very committed to that. So this year we're being awarded our 6 endowed fellowships and 1 endowed scholarship. The first recipient can't be with us today. It's Daniel Olivares Zambrano, who's working on his MS in biology. He's a recipient of the David Cameron Fisher Memorial Fellowship. Again, Daniel was not able to join us today, but he sent a statement that he would like us to read for him. And our President Jose Galvan is going to read that statement for us, for Daniel.
I see that Janet Fisher Holt is one of the attendees. And so Janet, this statement is intended for you, for your ears. And it comes from Danielle Olivares Zambrano. Thank you for awarding me the David Cameron Fisher Fellowship. I'm sorry I could not attend the virtual conference. I'm currently a biology Master of Science student in Dr. Andres Aguilar's lab. I have been studying rockfish speciation using genomic approaches for the last year or so. This experience has made me want to continue studying questions related to marine biology. It has been a very productive year and a half at Cal State LA, and I feel ever more ready to go into a PhD program related to marine and evolutionary biology. Having grown up in East LA when I was a child, having my Master of Science at Cal State Los Angeles be a pivotal moment in my early scientific career is very important to me. Ever since I started my undergrad at Cal State Monterey Bay, I have had to fund my education through grants, loans, jobs, and scholarships, just like this one. Being awarded the David Cameron Fisher Fellowship allows me to have less financial insecurity that has been persistent throughout my higher education, and it allows me to focus on attaining my goals. Thank you again for awarding me this fellowship.
Thank you, Jose. I don't know about you folks out there, but when I hear about a kid from UCLA who wants to pursue the study of rockfish speciation, that just really excites me. I mean, it really does, because it talks to the potential that so many students have that come to find the opportunities and the confidence to pursue those dreams at Cal State Los Angeles as a result of faculty and staff and people who fund these awards to allow them to fulfill some amazing, amazing stories. The next endowed award is the Roland Carpenter Memorial Fellowship, and the recipient of this award is Daniel Barton, who is earning his master's degree in physics.
Hi, Dr. Gonzalez. Thank you. I guess I'll just jump right in. I kind of had a little bit of a circuitous path to my post-secondary education as well, as some others have mentioned, but I did kind of want to study science as soon as I got out of high school. For a number of different reasons, I was kind of redirected into business, and I had a career in finance for about 20 years. But a couple of years ago, I had a little bit of a kind of an inflection point, and I had the decision to continue in business or to change to something else. And my passion for science, and in particular for physics, never left. And it was almost a no-brainer. I immediately made a decision to make a change, also made an about face, left a steady paying job at one of the studios here in Los Angeles, and joined the physics department at Cal State Los Angeles as a graduate student. Incidentally, I was initially denied joining the program for technical reasons, made appeals, drove around the city to get transcripts, and after the fact was let into the university, and then also provided with funding. So I say that to say, having a dream, seeing it, reaching out to grab it, and then being able to, even though there were roadblocks besides roadblocks I may have had in the past in my life, but being able to just get there is a wonderful thing that I hope in America can continue to be a hallmark for all people. But when I did start, there was a financial disparity between what I needed to live in order to achieve this dream and what I had available. I experienced what some people call the dark night of the soul on a number of occasions. So a few months back, when I received the letter from the Cal State Emeriti Association that I was being awarded the Ronald L. Carpenter Memorial Fellowship for physics, my career choice and my dream, it was a moment. I was very grateful, and I was honored because it sort of validated a little bit. You know, I made this. I left all. I took the big risk, left my career, and this kind of little thing on a piece of paper, it meant a lot to me because it said, hey, maybe this wasn't the wrong decision. There's a couple other people who think so too. Look, you're doing okay so far. And I was in need. So I just want to say thank you very much for that. One last comment, someone had mentioned, I told them about this fellowship I received, and they said, you know, that's kind of an amazing moment of insight that you had. You saw your dream, you reached out and grabbed it. But something that I guess is not that funny is sometimes there's other groups of people who they see their dream also, they reach out to grab it, and they hit a wall that should not be there. And we know about this. It's a big issue worldwide, in our country, and maybe for humanity since the beginning of time, I don't know. But it's a wall of discrimination, race, gender, religion. To be told no, I was told yes, but to be told no when you should have been told yes is a terrible feeling. And I have known that as well at times in my life. But I didn't really want to speak today so much about social issues or to talk about ethics so much, although I agree with the worldviews that go along with the comments I have just made. Instead, to speak to having better physics, which I think a diversity would produce better output for maybe all industries, and certainly within physics, which actually at this time is, for the most part, white males, which I have no problem with being a white male since I am one myself. But I don't think it produces good science to have something so one-sided, and it also is a little boring. Besides heartbreaking when it's not the right thing. So instead of speaking more about ethics, I just want to offer what people in my profession do when they want to make a point, and that is evidence. So with that in mind, I will just read these two short quotes, and I will leave you with that. The first is from the Senior Vice President of Film Production at Warner Brothers, where I formerly worked. She's the person who decides yes or no on if a film is going to be going or not going. And she's speaking to the writers' rooms in the studios, which at that time were mostly white males, as has historically been true in writing, as it turns out. Her name is Niija Kujikendall, a wonderful executive. And she said, not including other races in the writing room is just bad business. People speak to their demographic and they speak from their own experience. If you want to get higher viewership, you need to write content that is interesting to all the various demographics. So put those people in the rooms, our ratings are going to go up. She did, and they did. So there's point one. Point two is just a quote from not a physics journal, a chemistry journal, the Journal of Organic Chemistry, a paper titled A Call to Action for Diversity and Inclusion, written by the primary author anyway, was Sarah E. Reisman from Caltech. And I quote, a recent analysis of 2.5 million papers in the Web of Science database found that papers written by diverse teams are more highly cited and have higher impact factors than those written by ethnically homogeneous teams. In other words, they deliver better science. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. I remember reading your material and just being really impressed that you were so moved by your dream and your passion that you decided to give up security and comfort because you wanted to pursue your dream and your passion. We're so happy to, again, play a small role in helping you move in that direction. And you certainly come across as the kind of person that we want out there, not only to do good science, but to help us to bring in the ideas of diverse groups of people to improve the science that we do get. So thank you so very much. The recipient of the Jane Matson Memorial Fellowship is Carolina Cervantes. She's earning her master's degree in counseling, but was unable to join us today. We crossed emails and I didn't get a statement from her, but we congratulate her and we're very proud of the work that she's done so far and goals that she hopes to accomplish. Our next recipient is Chris Fennessy. He is earning his master's degree in history and he is a recipient of the William Lloyd Memorial Fellowship. Chris?
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Yeah, I am honored to be here and being recognized along these other amazing students. And I'm truly grateful for the fellowship from the Emeriti Association. I feel like this is really emblematic of the kind of support that I've gotten here at Cal State LA and that Cal State offers. I am a historian and an educator, and I've wanted to be a teacher for many, many years now. After I graduated from high school, I went to Pasadena City College, where I received a truly remarkable education and found a sense of community and academic rigor that was just really, truly amazing. That really inspired me to want to become a community college professor myself, which has been my career goal for some time now. After PCC, I transferred to Loyola Marymount University, where I received my bachelor's, and then I took a few years off to start getting some teaching experience, where I taught both here locally in Los Angeles, as well as internationally, where I was a part of the JET program teaching English in Japan. But when I returned from Japan, I came here and I realized that it was time to get back into my education to finish my graduate studies. And so I applied to a few different schools, but from the start, Cal State LA always spoke to me as a department and an institution that really was going to be a place that I could find success and really build my skills and my knowledge base. And it's really been that for me. I have found such an amazing academic community in the history department here at Cal State. A great example of this is actually during the pandemic. we've had what's called a virtual King Hall experience, where King Hall is the building that most of the history classes are given in. And so we have turned that virtual. And so using Zoom and other kinds of technological abilities, we have had 2 or 3 times a week online gatherings where historians can come together and we can talk about papers, we can talk about books we're reading, we can watch movies together, we'll even have social nights like game nights and other kinds of events. And I'm the president of Phi Alpha Theta, our History Honor Society, and it's just been so amazing to be able to be a part of this this academic community that's gone above and beyond in a really, really hard time, and to work alongside the faculty and students and other historians in the department that I've learned a ton, and I continue to be really, really engaged by them and by everyone in the department. The support of that department and the faculty there, as well as the Emeriti Association here and everyone else at Cal State, has really been amazing to my studies overall and this semester. Right now, I am doing research on the participation of LA's ethnic communities in the 1932 Olympics that were hosted here in the city. But I'm also working on pedagogy, which is of course, my other big focus. And so I'm lucky enough to be teaching my second time here at Cal State LA. I've also had classes teaching at Occidental College during my program. And the department has continued to be supportive not only of my historical thinking and skills, but also of making me a better teacher and building my pedagogic skills and my knowledge and my theory there. And in particular, I want to thank Dr. Christopher Endy in the history department, who's been a mentor to me throughout my time here. He has not only really inspired in me a love of transnational American history, but also a true sense of how pedagogy and teaching is a constant learning experience, and how working with other faculty and other educators is always going to be helping you to be a better teacher and to do that. And so I'm really grateful to him in particular in the department. But I also want to recognize one of the prompts for this was to whom I owe my success. And outside of academia, I wouldn't be here without my parents. Both my mom and my dad are Cal State LA alums. And my mother, who I believe is here, she's constantly shown me support. She's shown me what it means to work hard and to persevere through difficult times, and to be a caring person. And I'm so grateful for everything she's taught me and provided. And my dad has also supported me. My dad actually passed away last month. And so this has been a difficult semester for many reasons. But one of the final conversations that I had with my dad was a pretty regular occurrence of us talking about what I'm studying and what I'm doing, and the fact that I received this fellowship. And he told me he was proud of me, and he told me, how wonderful and how inspired he is by the work that I'm doing. And the fact that I have had that as one of my final memories with my dad is just really meaningful. And I'm just so grateful to him and the support that he's provided me. And so, yeah, I'm really honored, and I hope that I can continue to show the care and support that I've been given to the students that I serve, and to everyone in my community as well. So thank you.
Chris, very sorry to hear about your father, and our condolences to you and your mother and all of your extended family. You may well know that almost the majority of students who begin college, Hispanic and African Americans, started community college. And the difference that you can make in them believing in themselves to motivate them, to inspire them, to give them the tools to then continue on to a four-year institution, continuing to believe in themselves is one of the things that you will accomplish by working at a community college, if again that's what you choose to pursue. I also read in some of your material that you're doing some fascinating things in the courses that you're TAing or teaching, that even your instructors have adopted some of the techniques that you're doing, because again, they're so effective. So continue the work that you're doing, and we're very proud of you. And I'm glad Cal State LA has fulfilled the interest that you have and what you were looking for in a place to pursue your master's degree. Our next recipient is Pamela Vanegas. She's a recipient of the Vicente Zapata Scholarship in public health. Pamela?
Hello. Hello, and thank you to everyone who made this happen. It's truly an honor to be awarded this scholarship. I'm a current public health major and ultimately would like to pursue my master's in occupational therapy and do missionary work throughout my career. I owe my undergraduate success to my supportive family, friends, as well as professors at Cal State LA who just honestly work tirelessly for their students outside of just the classroom, such as Dr. Sharif, who actually wrote my letter of recommendation for my scholarship application. And I'm just very thankful to the Emeriti Association for their social and financial support and their desire to see students succeed both in and out of the classroom. This year has been a challenging one for us all, right, to say the least, as we just heard. And personally, I lost my great-grandmother to COVID-19 the first week of this fall semester and couldn't return to work because I had been caring for her while she was in hospice. So this scholarship came at the perfect time, and it just made it all the more meaningful to me. So I just like to once again thank the Emeriti Association and its contributors for truly believing in and finding worth in me.
Pamela, we're sorry to hear about your loss as well. It's tragic, but it sounds like you had a special relationship with your grandmother, and that makes that very, very special. Emerald Ayong is earning her master's degree in counseling in the rehabilitation option. She is the recipient of the Broadwin Family Fellowship in Counseling Rehabilitation Option. Emerald?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Hello, everyone. So as Dr. Gonzalez just introduced me, my name is Emerald Young, and I'm a current second-year graduate student in the Counseling Option and Rehabilitation Counseling program. Before I continue, I would like to give a special thanks to the donors of the Emeriti Association, the Broadwin family, my professors, especially Dr. Kim, and my research advisor, Dr. Wu, my family, and my beloved partner, Sawul Alaman. This accomplishment would not have been possible without all of you. In retrospect, I see that becoming a counselor was inevitable. The field had always seemed appealing, but I always had a hesitancy. I did not know that I would be drawn to the counseling field. In fact, I made the decision to apply to this program just 1 month prior to the due date. The universe guided me in this direction, and I am eternally grateful. Since a young age, I had a pull toward listening to people speak about their challenges and helping them work through it. I realized that my own childhood trauma has empowered me to pursue counseling and really use my experiences to empathize with those who have endured similar experiences. So with that, I aspire to become a licensed mental health counselor and a sex therapist, and to specialize in working with individuals with trauma and disabilities. And then now to talk a little bit about my research. People say research is me search, and we tend to research ideas that interest us. I'm currently developing a research study on women with spinal cord injury and their sexuality. With the help of my co-principal investigators, Dr. Kim and Dr. Wu. These women not only inspire me to pursue doctorates in research, but they have vouched for me to receive this scholarship. As a paraprofessional, I hope to decrease the stigma around mental health and serve populations who can benefit from it most. This scholarship has contributed to my ultimate goal by financially investing in my education and showing me that I have true potential. Graduate school is a financial struggle, and this fellowship relieved part of the financial burden off my shoulders. It is organizations like these that encourage me to continue my education and push my limits. I appreciate the everlasting support that I've received from professors, colleagues, friends, and family. Thank you once again for being here today. It is my honor to be in your presence.
Thank you, Emerald. The very first recipient of the William Darrow, Eleni Pitsu Darrow in Athena Fellowship in Sociology is awarded to Ram Ravi. Ram?
Hello, everyone. Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are usually the ones who do." I want to make a shout out to the whole world, the worldwide sociological and hip hop communities for changing our minds and hearts, and to those who have been with me since the beginning. We will get through this pandemic together. First and foremost, I'm honored and humbled to be receiving this fellowship. I really deeply appreciate it. Sociology to me means examining the human condition within society. Unless we can examine human beings' relationship to society and the constraints and limitations, but also the creative possibilities that it imposes on the freedom of individuals, we will forever be unable to unlock the mysteries of individual consciousness. We will forever be caught in a chasm of despair until we acknowledge the transformative power of knowledge for both individual and collective liberation. This fellowship means a great deal to me as it helps me finance my education and it helps me become financially independent. My immediate objective is to enter a PhD program, hopefully in a field similar to sociology or sociology itself. I eventually want to work for a nonprofit for a couple of years and then eventually start a career as a writer. It will help me with applying to PhD programs in the social sciences and also with spreading my intellectual message of hope and resilience. This fellowship will enable me to be in a strong position to further my research interests in the realm of mental health and its connection to housing. With regards to challenges, I'm currently facing the onslaught of OCD. However, I've been getting a lot better with time. With treatment and love, I have become a lot better mentally than I was 5 years ago when I was first officially diagnosed with OCD. Finally, I owe my success entirely, first and foremost, to my parents, then my sister and my immediate family, then my close friends, and then my professors and classmates. They have always been there for me, and I really appreciate having them in my life. I would like to thank the chair of my thesis committee, Dr. Esparza, for being my mentor these past couple of years. I would also like to thank Dr. Giaruso, the sociology department chair, for looking out for me. Thank you and Godspeed.
Thank you, Ram. You did a great job. We have several people in the audience who, through their generosity, help make these endowed fellowships possible, and I'd like to acknowledge them. Dr. Janet Fisher Holt, who established the David Cameron Fisher Memorial Fellowship in honor of her late son. Dr. Dorothy Keene, who established the Roland Carpenter Memorial Fellowship in honor of her late husband. Drs. Marty and Sandy Brodwin and Aaron, who established the Brodwin Family Fellowship, and Drs. Bill Darrow and Eleni Pitsudaro, who established the Bill Darrow, Eleni Pitsudaro, and Athena Fellowship. I think all of you would agree that it's an amazing group of students. And on behalf of the Emeriti Association, I am proud of you. I'm impressed with what you've accomplished and know that you will make us in Cal State LA Los Angeles proud. We're honored to be able to make even a small contribution to your success. We may have some time for any questions from the audience, if anybody is interested in posing anything. And while you're considering that, let me thank a few people for making all of this possible. I'd like to give special thanks to the following for reviewing scholarship and fellowship applications. Many of you know their names, but I'd like to read them to acknowledge them. Bill Taylor, Deborah Schaefer, Dorothy King, Gary Novak, Janet Fisher Holt, John Clement, Jose Galvan, Kathy Riley, Jerry Beer, Marty Brodwin, Martin Hall, Steve Falsaki, and Vicente Zapata. All of them have doctor in front of their names. The review process for applications, as many of you know, certainly those who reviewed applications know, is now done online. We actually even had our orientation meeting online this year, whereas previously we had done it in person. But the actual review of applications is done online. So if any the Emeriti faculty who are in this audience have any interest in reviewing applications, you can contact me. I'm the Cal State LA directory, or contact emeriti.office@calstatela.edu and just say that you're interested, and I can provide you more information, more details. The review takes place in the early in the spring quarter. And again, it's done online. So if you're vacationing in Paris or Thailand, you can review applications from there. We try to limit the number that each pair has to review. You are paired up with somebody. We try to limit the number that each pair has to review, so it's a manageable number. And again, it depends on the number of applications that you get to determine how many are assigned. But I think anyone that you talk to who's on this list or has previously reviewed applications will tell you it is an inspiring experience to read the stories of some of these incredible, fantastic students and what they've accomplished, what is obvious that they will accomplish in the future. So again, if you're interested, you can find me in the Emeriti directory or on Cal State LA email list, or you can write to emeriti.office@calstatela.edu. There's also a group of people I'd like to thank who helped make this program possible. And if we can have that slide, I'd also like to read their names. These are, well, they run the gamut. These are folks who, well, Veronica Popovich is the coordinator of the scholarship office in the Office of Student Financial Aid. She's always been very helpful, very supportive, and very quick to respond and answer questions. Chris Trong is an ITC assigned to the Financial Aid Office, and again, has been amazing in resolving problems, especially for some of us who are a little bit computer challenged and sometimes don't know how to get into the website to access the application, but he's been amazing. Ana Caudillo, who works in the President's Office. Many of you are familiar with her, if not, if you don't know her, or at least familiar with her. She helped contact students, get information on them. She prepared the congratulatory letters and the certificates for the students, had them mailed out, and has always been extremely responsive. And I wanted to specifically, acknowledge these people. Steve Falseghi, who also reviewed applications, but I put him on two lists because he's also the database coordinator. And he's the one who's responsible for sending out tons and tons of emails to people in various categories and under sometimes challenging circumstances. But again, always responsive, helpful, and supportive. Deborah Schaefer, who's a membership secretary for the Emeriti Association, helped identify the list of guests beyond the Emeriti who would receive letters and help coordinate the worked with other people to develop 34 different unique letters for different constituencies. So great thanks to her. These last three people have been just absolutely amazing. They all work in the development office. Maria Mogolsky was the primary resource from the very beginning, who helped us feel confident that we could have an event like this and make it successful. She brought in the support of people that work for her, Christina Guvala and James Quaresma, again, who have been amazing. So your support was invaluable in terms of getting us to present this program. So we're indebted to what you've done for us. As we close, if there's no questions, I'd like to express my heartfelt congratulations to each one of the students. We wish you the very best as you complete your degrees at Cal State Los Angeles and the next phase of your academic and professional endeavors, and in the work that you do to make the world a better place. And there was a number of students who have shown evidence that this is one of their passions. It's not only getting their degrees, but making the world a better place. Your accomplishments to date are impressive, and we are confident that it's only a preview of what is to come. To those of you who have contributed to make these awards possible, thank you. To those in the audience who have contributed to make these awards possible, thank you. We appreciate it, and we welcome your continued support. We'd like to thank the Emeriti Association members who attended to meet and support these amazing students. One of the things that runs like a theme through many of the remarks that we get from students, both today, but also in notes that I get, are what help the financial resources are that we provide them, as relatively little as it is. But they acknowledge that. But more than that, what they share with me is that having a group of people like the Emeriti Association essentially say, we believe in you and we think you can accomplish what you're striving to accomplish, means a lot to them. Again, I get notes like this, and we heard it from a number of the speakers today. And I think that is something that we have to be consistently cognizant of the difference that not only the financial support makes, but also our vote of confidence in what we know they can do. I'd like to thank the faculty and administrators who attended and for all that you do to support students. And some of you were specifically named, and the difference that you make in helping students believe in themselves and get motivated to pursue their dreams is amazing. And then lastly, I'd like to thank the parents and relatives and friends who might be in the audience for the love and support that you provide your student in ways that help make their success possible. It goes without saying that without you there to support them, to express your confidence, to say you can do it, to make the accommodations when they're challenged is amazing. And again, please continue that love and support that you provide your students so that they can achieve their dreams and serve as leaders in their community in the future and as role models for their siblings and nieces, nephews, and other children who maybe don't have the same kind of exposure and opportunities that we have been afforded. Okay, so I'd like to say thank you for your attendance. Hopefully we'll see you in person next year, but I'm guessing that now we have the tool of Zoom and there's various ways that we can use it. If we are to meet in person, and I certainly hope we do, COVID's over, that we will continue to use Zoom as a tool to allow others of you who are maybe not in as close proximity to join this event and see these fantastic people that we are recognizing and supporting with a little bit of our resources. So again, until next year, good night and be safe. And thank you for all of your support.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything.
You are more than welcome on behalf of the association. You inspire us. Thank you.